Now to Long Island, where accused serial killer Rex Heuermann made the stunning admission in court today, where he pled guilty to the murders of 7 women and then added an 8th woman that he had not yet even been charged with killing. The plea brings closure to the string of unsolved murders of young women that had haunted Long Island for decades. The infamous deaths became known as the Gilgo Beach killings, named after the remote area on the beach where many of the victims' bodies were found. The 62-year-old man appeared unfazed by the horrors of what he had done as he answered the judge's questions in court.
Do you understand that by pleading guilty to a charge, that is the same as if you had gone to trial and been found guilty of that charge?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand that by pleading guilty, you're waiving a number of very important rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, now these rights include your right to a trial by jury or by the court. Are you pleading guilty voluntarily and of your own free will?
Yes.
And then, one by one, 8 times in a row, Heuermann chillingly answered strangulation when asked how he had killed each of the women. Heuermann, who was an architect, had stubbornly maintained his innocence since his arrest nearly 3 years ago. His attorney said they were preparing for trial when Heuermann told them he wanted to make a deal.
He maintained that he's not guilty. We advocated on his behalf. We worked very hard on this case. We've been preparing for trial, but when somebody pivots and says, I'm done and I want to accept responsibility, all right, as the attorney, we have to follow his directive.
So why the about face? His attorney said Heuermann wanted to spare his own family the anguish of a lurid trial. The prosecution's abundant DNA evidence against him may have also played a role. After the court proceedings today, Heuermann's ex-wife made rare comments to the media.
My thoughts and prayers are with the victims and their families. Their loss is immeasurable, and the focus should be on them at this time.
Heuermann will be sentenced on June 17th. New York State does not have the death penalty. For more on this stunning turn of events today, we're joined by Ray Tierney, the Suffolk County District Attorney who led this investigation. Ray, wow. First of all, you have worked so long and so hard to bring justice to the victims' families of the Gilgo Beach killings. What was it like today in court to watch him stand there and plead guilty time after time after time?
Well, I think it was very satisfying in the sense that, you know, if you had told me when I took office in 2022 that we'd be at this stage right now, I would have been very satisfied, and I'm certainly satisfied because, you know, I think we brought closure to those 8 victims, their families, and that was a nice thing to be able to do. As
he pled guilty, I was so struck. He was completely normal, like he was discussing the weather as he said strangulation one by one as to how he had killed each of these women. You know, in past court appearances, he's been aloof, bordering on arrogant. Has he ever shown any remorse, ever?
Not to me, but, you know, that's not, in fairness, that's not entirely rare. I don't have that much access to him. I think that, you know, this was a plea, so the questions that myself and the judge posed to him were to establish the elements of the crimes charged against him. At the time of his sentence on June 17th, he'll have the opportunity to address the court, and we'll see what he says then.
Do you think he'll say anything?
I don't know. I really don't. And the other thing is, you know, what is it worth?
Yeah.
You know, we'll leave the families, you know, we'll leave it up to the families to decide, but, you know, we'll see.
He had pled not guilty to all of these crimes. What changed? Do you really think it's because he wanted to spare his own family the, you know, stress of a trial?
Yeah, you know, I think, you know, I waiting to come on, I listened to the defense counsel who was saying he was preparing for trial. We were preparing for trial. I definitely do think that something sort of changed in the defendant's decision making to make him decide, you know, he's done and he wants to plead guilty. But what that is, you know, I don't really have any particular insight on.
It doesn't sound like the defense attorneys really do either. In your press conference after court today, you got up and repeatedly apologized to the families of all of these women. You called them out. by name, one by one, and said over and over again, "I'm sorry." Why did you do that?
I think it's, I really wanted to let the families know that we in law enforcement, we in Suffolk County government, and even our citizens, I think it's been portrayed as because of some of their backgrounds and maybe what they were doing for a living, that the people in Suffolk County, law enforcement in Suffolk County didn't care. My experience has been the exact opposite since I've taken office in 2022. In fact, I was saying that when I ran for office in 2021, really the most passionate responses I got from the members of the public in Suffolk County were, "Are you going to do something about this case? Are you going to find for these women and these families?" So I just wanted them to know that as a county, we're sorry. We're sorry this happened, and we've been able to give you, a small measure of closure, but that doesn't really, dissipate the tragedy of it all.
Were you surprised? When did you learn that he was going to also plead guilty to this 8th murder?
Well, there was a time where under a proffer agreement in which the defense proffers evidence. We can't use it against him in ordinary circumstances, but during that proffer session, he had disclosed to us his involvement in that case. I think that right from the very beginning, we had strongly suspected that he committed that murder, and that we were working towards developing evidence to prove that. Obviously, that admission, eliminated that need to do that. But we were confident that he had committed that murder. But then, of course, when he admitted it, that was what closed the case for us.
We just had, there was another murder just recently attributed to serial killer Ted Bundy, who reportedly killed 30 women. Do you think there are more victims out there of Ray Tierney? Is it just 8? Because these 8 murders were over a period of time. It's unusual.
Yeah, I mean, I think, what we have to do, if you told me in 2022 that we'd be at this point now with these 8 cases, I'd be delighted. Now this chapter's closed, a new one is opened, and what we have to do is we have to handle each of these cases with an open mind and see where the evidence leads us, and whether it leads to this individual or other individuals. We just have to.
But you will continue to look. You will continue to look and investigate. It's unusual for a serial killer to, there are years where he didn't, you haven't convicted him of killing anybody. So the question is, was he someplace else doing something there to women? Because a predator is a predator. And anyway, Ray Tierney, thank you so much for coming on and discussing this case. Finally, to get some justice for those families is really a great thing. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.